spying on Americans legal, and guess what? They do it. And they got a plan. It's the New World Order plan, evidently. So President Bush tells the Economic Club of New York, you know, those are all banksters, my vision, I'm sorry, February 6, 1991. We haven't moved that long in time. We're at 1991. My vision of a new world order foresees the United Nations with a revitalized peacekeeping function. So I ask you people, is the idea to give the one world government the guns, the UN? And this was set up by that bankster, Rockefeller? Are you listening? Well, here's my favorite quote, and I'm going to read it to you. Then we're going to show you a little piece. And here's my quote, and this is from David Rockefeller. He said in a speech, listen closely, please. This is what David Rockefeller, the bankster, this is the big bankster guy. We are grateful to the Washington Post, the New York Times, Time Magazine, and other great publication whose directors have attended our meetings and respected their promises of discretion for almost 40 years. That's okay. So now you know that the media has been to their party and have kept their mouth shut. Discretion, okay? So anyway, for 40 years. It would have been impossible for us to develop our plan for the world if we had been subjected to the lights of publicity during those years. But the world is now more sophisticated and prepared to march towards a world government. Yeah, okay, get ready. The supranational sovereignty of an intellectual elite of world bankers is surely preferable to the national autodetermination practiced in past centuries. Whoa. Here's your big bankster planning to get a one world government. And I'm telling you, out there, I don't think this is what you want. I'll ask you, what happens when Pol Pot is running the boat? What happens when Idi Amin is running the boat? Has it ever happened before? Have they used crises, fictitious and real ones, okay, to come into power? How did Hitler come into power? Do they use economic crises? Are they putting you through an economic crisis? Get ready for the greatest depression. It's time for you men out there to start listening and tell your friends to watch this show and download it and get it so that you're awake and you awaken your neighbors. These banksters have plans. They're not dummies. These are very intelligent people. All right. So I got a little clip for you. I want you to catch this. This is just so you have an idea of who you're dealing with and what they've done.
A special televised meeting of the New York-based Council on Foreign Relations provides a window to the real story. The speaker, Vice President Dick Cheney, takes a question from David Rockefeller.
Vice President, I just enjoyed so much your whole speech, but I was particularly pleased that you gave such a strong endorsement for the free trade agreement for all the Americas, subject that has been of great concern to me for many years, and particularly recently, and I think it's absolutely essential for the strength of our economy.
Rockefeller's role in the drive for an FTAA was a lot more central than he portrays. Rockefeller cultivated Latin American leaders who could be counted on to support such a proposal. Both the 1994 Miami Summit and the FTAA proposal were conceived and nurtured by a Rockefeller-created network. Prominent among the organizations sponsoring the Miami event were the Council of the Americas, founder and honorary chairman David Rockefeller, the Americas Society, chairman David Rockefeller, the Forum of the Americas, founder David Rockefeller, the Institute for International Economics, financial backer and board member David Rockefeller, the Trilateral Commission, founder and honorary chairman David Rockefeller. Rockefeller's influence also extends to the current administration. He was chairman emeritus of the CFR when Vice President Dick Cheney once served as a director, a relationship that Cheney concealed during his congressional career.
It's good to be back at the Council on Foreign Relations. As Pete mentioned, I've been a member for a long time and was actually a director for some period of time. I never mentioned that when I was campaigning for re-election back home in Wyoming.
So what you just saw was was the inside of a CFR meeting or whatever, where you listen to David Rockefeller talking to Dick Cheney, and, you know, Cheney's over there making a joke of how he was a CFR member for 26 years, but he never told his constituents that when he was running for re-election. You heard that. Wasn't me. That was Dick Cheney. And all these names keep showing up in history, and they keep pulling these, you know, when I say pulling, they're doing extremely bad things. And I'm sorry. I have to be the person to wake you up. You can't be a child anymore. You must wake up to the fact that, you know, it's time for good men to do something. Because the only thing evil needs to succeed is for good men to do nothing. So I want you to join me in the tyranny response team. We're not going to put up with this. The New World Order stops here, stops now. World government? I'm not for world government. I'm in for taking care of my family. Okay? And do we need FEMA camps to house millions of people? No, we don't. Do we need Homeland Security? No, we don't. Am I going to take my shoes off at the airport? Nuh-uh. Okay? You want to see my papers? This is the papers I get to see. I want to see your papers? Here's my paper. Do you know what paper this is? Do you know what country you're in? Do you know what made this country great? So, yeah. And if you don't want to go about it that way, if you just want to sit back and watch the Super Bowl, or at least the reruns to the Super Bowl, and you can complain about some call, oh, that call ruined the game, oh, that call changed the game. I want you to, you know, hey, I love this one. I want you to stop watching the show, go immediately to a mirror, take a good look deep into the eyes of that person in the mirror, and practice your excuses, so that when your children and your children's children look up at you and they say, oh, Grandpa, how come you knew all this stuff was bad and you did nothing? You'll already have the excuse. You'll be practiced. You'll be good at it. You'll be going, hey, I was practicing that excuse in the mirror for years. Yeah, boy. So anyway, you know, this whole thing, what is it for you? It's time to wake up. It's time to start thinking, you know what, I'm an American. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. Not a Libertarian. Not a Green Party, this party, that party. No, maybe you out there, maybe you out there, you're an American, and you're going to consider what's best for future Americans. And you're not going to listen to the lies that the media spins and gives you every single day. Tune into the show. We'll tell you some truth. Follow the money. If you follow the money, usually you're going to find the truth. And those banksters, gosh, it's not hard to follow that money because they keep taking it out of your pocket. Just follow it as it goes. And thanks for watching.